Hello back. Welcome to card number 3 of our November card making class project. So this one is a little bit bigger card, and it's not quite 5 by 7, it's 6.5 by 5. So once in a while I like to use a bigger card for Christmas, and we don't have the big ones in store yet, but I am happy to say that starting January we will have them in stock. They will be the 5 by 7 kind. So right now I'm gonna use this one here, and everything is pre-stamped when you get it at home. So this is the inside. The inside is some old phrases from previous Christmas cards, but this one is actually from a current set, and it is this one here. So it's called One Star, One Night, One Child. It's C1914, and we're actually using this little tree here, and I stamped it on a tree form that I cut out with my Cricut machine. So these are the identical, just different sizes of the tree, and you can fuzzy cut them if you want to. If you have different dies, you can cut out different trees, or if you have a Cricut, you might be able to alternate them so they fit your stamped image. If not, you can put and replace this with a tag if you wanted to. And then this is white glitter paper, and this is a leftover paper I had that just fitted the zebra color that we currently have new in the book, and it also matched the paper. This paper is from Wonderland, which was our last year Christmas paper, or one of the Christmas papers. It is still available. It's in the bulk form, so if you're looking for this one, it has some really cool polka dots on the back side. Let me show you. So this is one side and this is the back side, and it is still available for you to purchase. And it is the item number bulk, so BULK 453, and it's Wonderland. All right, so let's get started with this one. So this is all pre-stamped, and I used mist to stamp the phrase. And then for the polka dots, we're going to use the Seabrook. And I also use one of my absolute favorite current background stamps. It's the background elements. It's D2123. It is available. There are different dots on here. There are splashes. There are these really wonky splashes of color. And they make great background stamps, or in this case we're going to use them as a border. And the nice thing too is if you have a card pre-done and you're just missing a few little speckles here and there, and you don't want to do the fling with the color or the ink and mess up everything else, these are great because you position them, and where they go. So it's a little bit more controlled splatter. Let's put it that way. All right, so let's get started with our cards. So when you pull them out, be careful because you have these little shiny sequins in there, and we don't want to lose them. So this is the inside. Again, this is from the old nativity scene set we had, and this is from an old stamp of the month, but you can use whatever you have. So you have 2 white glitter trees, you have 2 greenish trees, we have 3 sequins here, which I'm gonna leave on the side here, and we have this paper. So before we put this paper down, just putting the paper down looked a little bit bare in my mind, so I used the background stamp to go around the edges. And let me clear this off here a little bit, because we're gonna flip our Verso mat around, which is awesome. That way I have a nice stamping surface. This is the right side up, and then I just gonna use a piece of paper that I put underneath. So I always have these on hand for stamping. That way I don't have to take the insert out of the pouch that, you know, the stamp comes in. There's one in here. But I like it a little bit bigger. So I always have one sandwiched between a bunch of scrap paper that I can use to stamp on. So here's my pouch, a bigger one. This way I actually do not need to flip this over, but if you have this mat and you need to stamp something, just flip it over. This is the same principle as this pouch putting underneath. I just don't want to mess up the paper and the mat, so I'm just gonna do it this way. Let me double check that you're in focus here. That looks good. And then let's get going. So remember, this is the right side. We're gonna use our Seabrook, one of the new colors, and we're gonna use this stamp here. So this is a more loose stamp, and this one has a nice edged border, and that edge will actually go on the outside of the card. So you have to turn it a little bit. So here's the edge. When you look through, you can see that there is the more dots, and then they get loose going towards this way. So this is the edge we want to keep on the outside. So I'm stamping up, and then I just go a little bit over the edge to make sure I cover the whole thing. And if it's not perfect, that's fine. So we just continue. Now we're gonna, and I overlap the corners, which is fine. Not a big deal. You won't see much. Okay, I messed up a little bit here. Let's just go over that edge. There we go. And then we do a couple more on this side and the bottom. And the majority will be hidden anyway, but it just gives it an interesting frame. And it's not the boring, just white. Okay, and I'm gonna overlap this a little bit here. There we go. All right. So if you ever create cards and you're looking to, you know, just enhance the base a little bit, that's an easy way to go. So let's get back to our reference photo or card, and then this one is raised from the main, and you can put it flat under, but I raised mine, and I'm just using a couple of these here. Since it's a bigger card, we need a couple more, but we have plenty, so not a big deal. And then we do a couple down here. And a few up here. I usually go around the premises first, and then I just fill in the blanks individually here a little bit, so this part doesn't cave, it stays up nicely. And I think maybe two more here. Very good. Okay, that's plenty. Now we have the pleasure of removing all these little backings. And once we have those removed, we can adhere it in the center of our card front. So if you have the adhesive strips or the foam strips, you can just use bigger chunks. Makes it a little bit easier, but these will work too. So let me just give a quick look that I got them all. Looks good. And then there's really no right or wrong way on how to put those papers down here. This paper down. Just make sure we center it. This looks good to me. And there you have it. Okay, now the big tree is also raised, and it will go in the middle. And then the others will work from the side into the center. So what I did was I started with the two outer ones, And if you have a Versamat, again, you can see that it's like an inch off the ground. This one is a little bit higher, which is fine. And these ones are adhered flat. But since this one is hanging over a little bit, I did put a little foam dot underneath there just to keep it upright. And then we put one down here, and then we put this one about an inch, so I can use this reference here, about an inch here as well. There we go. And then this one, like I said, is an inch and about a quarter up. And if we want to do the same thing, on this side we have to put a little bit foam adhesive underneath this one, and then adhesive on the rest. And then we position this, so there's an inch and there's an inch and a quarter about here. Okay, now we adhere our shimmer paper, and this is also just plain adhesive, nothing special. And this one's sitting about here. There we go. And then this one goes on the other side. And you can put them in a different order. Just, you know, if you say, no, I want to mix mine up, that's up to you. Go for it. There's no right or wrong way. This is just a suggestion on my side. You can do it any way, shape you want. So this one is raised, so we have to put a couple of foam spacers on this one. So we just place them. Since this is the cardstock here, that white cardstock is pretty sturdy. Don't need really a ton. Along the sides and in the middle just a little bit. Okay, removing the backs here. I just do this over the garbage can so I don't have all these little white squares flying around everywhere, which they will do underneath my desk, but that's fine, nobody sees that because they kind of like fling sometimes everywhere. All right, and then this one we just center here, and this looks good. I think that's perfect, and there we have it. Now to adhere our little sequins, I'm gonna place them here on my mat, and I know they're hard to see because they're these shiny iridescent ones, and I just gonna put a little bit adhesive where I want them to go, and then I grab our little sticky tool, picker-upper tool here, which has a wax tip, and you just use a regular pencil sharpener to remove if it starts not to get sticky anymore. And then I can pick this up and just drop it right onto my adhesive here. And they come in a really long form, so they're like twice the size. They're this long, and you get 2 in a package. So I just cut mine simply with a X-Acto knife in half. All right, and there you have it. For the inside, we did a little squiggling lines, so I'm just gonna use a 0.05 pen here, and the squiggle lines. You can use a pencil if you're more on this, want to be more on the safer side in case something goes wrong. I just go for it. So we do go down here, and then we do a second one. And the second one, I just make sure I crisscross over these lines a little bit. They're wonky, but that's what they're supposed to do. I don't want them to be too straight. And the same here. And then I did a little bow here, so I just use one of the edges where or one of the points where they kind of like go together. I do 2 loops, a squiggle line here and there, and that is decoration for the inside. And there we have our card number 3, using the fun new stem set. Here it is. 1 star, 1 child, 1 night. No, 1 star, 1 night, 1 child. This way around. And we use this little tree here, and then we also had our background element stems. Both are available, and this is a go-to one to have. You can't have enough of those. I tell you, I have quite a few background stems. So I hope you like this tutorial, and stay tuned for one more to come. And I will see you here in a few days. Thanks for watching. Have a great day. Bye-bye.